I saw Resident Evil last night.
Yes, I know this fucking video is late. This movie's been out for a while, but I was out on Thanksgiving weekend, which why the fuck do you release a fucking movie on Thanksgiving weekend? Oh, I know, because they knew no one was gonna be fucking watching this movie! Yeah, while I was busy on Thanksgiving weekend, spending time with family, I did not see this movie, and I already saw the negative criticism, and I'm like, you know, is it really worth seeing this? But you know what? I had to see it for myself. Because I'm like, how can you get so bad? How can you get as bad as the fucking Mila Jovovich movies? Well, turns out you fucking can! Oh my god. I had so high hopes for this movie. I had so many high hopes for this movie, but they just said, fuck that shit. Oh, where do I fucking start with this? Where the fuck do I start with this? Oh, I know. How about we fucking start with the fucking trailer? Okay. First of all, let's start with the fact that I was so confused when this trailer came out because first of all, I didn't know this was actually going to be a movie in theaters. I thought there was something that Netflix was working on after the CGI Resident Evil came out, but apparently they were doing all the movies. So, first of all, that was fucking confusing. Second of all, what the fuck was that trailer? I didn't have a chance to fucking to talk about that trailer, react to that trailer, because that was at the time when I hadn't come back to YouTube yet, so it's like, by the time it came out, it was like, it's not worth it. But then, you know, it's like, I watch it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this trailer? Just to clarify, I'm talking about the American trailer. And yes, there's two fucking versions of this fucking trailer. There's the American version, and then there's the international one. And you know what we got for a fucking American trailer? We got a fucking meme song!
What the?
Seriously, they used a song that's been used in that He-Man meme, and they just... That trailer is so fucking stupid. Not only did it show how much of a budget that this movie was going on, but how much of a damn they actually gave about this fucking movie. So it makes sense now. It actually makes sense why the American trailer was the way it is. Because the people that made that fucking trailer knew that this movie was going to suck! So yeah, let's fucking get into this. And yes, this is a review, but it's also mostly a rant, because I'm fucking pissed at this movie. And fuck spoiler section, because this movie does not deserve a spoiler section. There's nothing worth spoiling for, because you know what you're getting into if you watch a Resident Evil movie. But yeah, let's start with characters. We all knew what we were getting into with the trailers about how the characters fucking looked, and it just looked terrible. Fucking Leon doesn't look like Leon. Jill doesn't look like Jill. Wesker doesn't look like Wesker. I honestly think the only people that actually looked like their characters was Chris and Claire. Those two. That's it. Oh, no. It doesn't start with their faces, because here's the thing. Even though they don't look like their characters, as long as they get their personalities fine, I can live with the fact that they don't look like the characters. Oh, but they fucking don't, they even get that fucking wrong. Let's talk about the first character they do dirty, and that's fucking Leon. Oh my fucking Christ, they did Leon so fucking dirty in this movie. He goes from a badass, even when he was a rookie cop, a badass, calm, gets done type of personality type character, where in this fucking movie, he doesn't give a shit. He is the definition of a rookie cop. Dumbass, daddy's boy, a total fuck up, but he makes up for it because his dad is well known, so he gets to do whatever the fuck he wants. And boy, do they fucking drill that into your head that he does not know what he's doing, is a total rookie, and is really just in it because of his dad's status and within the Racoon City, the police department. Jill goes from being the most calm, badassery type female character of the Resident Evil series, and she's just a loose cannon with sassy attitude, and for some reason has like a love thing for Wesker, and it's just fucking weird if you're a Resident Evil fan, because it doesn't make sense. And Wesker, how do you take the most badass villain in Resident Evil lore and also make him a little bitch? Boy, wait till we get to the mid-credit scene. Yeah, there's a fucking mid-credit scene. But we'll get there. Claire and Chris look fine. The only thing that bothers me about them is what they do with them in this movie. They're treated as orphans that lived in the orphanage in Racoon City, where that never happened. That never happens in the actual games, so they just made it up for this fucking movie. And Claire's intentions in the game, where originally she went to Racoon City to look for her brother, turns into, in this movie, she's a conspiracy theorist that believes that Racoon City is fucking things up, and she's right. It's there. It's stupid, but it's there. That's what we've given as characters. I've never seen a movie fuck up the basis of its characters it's basing on from a game. Like, this is Lion King levels of bad, folks. This is Lion King levels. I'm not giving a shit about your fucking characters. Get to the plot. Racoon City is a hick deadbeat town that the Umbrella Corporation sucked dry and now is moving on. But not before fucking things up by just releasing the virus and fucking causing all havoc. First of all, Racoon City. Racoon City is not a hick town. It's been betrayed in the games as an actual big populous city. Why you gotta treat it like a hick broken down town that is nothing without Umbrella is so fucking stupid. You know what else is fucking stupid? Mixing up the plot of the first game and the second game. This was the big thing for me. I don't know why they decided to do this, mix up two stories in one movie within an hour and 40 minutes. But that's the way, that's the time. That's how much time we're giving in this movie. An hour and 40 minutes to portray two stories from two fucking different games. And boy, do they fuck that up royally. Because they're skipping plots, they're forgetting characters, they're just saying fuck everything about most of the plot in these two games and doing what they want. That is just, they're taking the plot of the second game being in the mansion, and the plot of the second game being Racoon City, and making it think that they're within the same timeline, when actually in the game, they're actually, I want to say, a year apart. Don't quote me on that. If anyone wants to comment what time these timelines take place, please let me know. It just doesn't work well, because not only do you have to keep going back and forth, it's disorienting as fuck. Again, you're skipping out on so much stuff. I don't know why. I don't know why you couldn't just do one movie where it's the mansion, and then if it was successful enough, do a second movie in the second game. But I guess they knew that this fucking movie was going to suck, so they might as well cram in two stories in one. Fuck it. Yeah, Racoon City's a hick town, and Umbrella's basically saying, fuck you, we're out. But not before fucking things up any further, when Claire comes into town, tries to prove her conspiracy about Umbrella, basically tearing the town apart, destroying it, and then the plot resumes. Introduced to Leon and the STARS team. Again, Leon, butcherizing character, dumb, doesn't give a fuck about his job. And then the STARS team just being a bunch of goofs. Being a bunch of dumb, idiot goofs. That is their character trait. It's like the STARS team is basically a bunch of goofballs that think they're above everyone. Yeah, so STARS team goes to the mansion like in the game. Meanwhile, everything goes to shit in Racoon City. You have the famous truck scene from the second game and that starts the plot for over in Racoon City. For the most part, I will give the movie credit where credit's due. They know how to pick apart scenes from the game and translate them well into this movie. But that's about fucking it. And the horror aspect has its moments, but it's very predictable at times. They do the stereotypical thing of every horror movie, doing the big fucking loud sound and something thrown into your face as a jump scare. I'm so getting sick of that. I'm so getting sick of it. Movie does it. Every fucking horror movie does it. Like, the jump scare is not creative anymore. It's just loud noise, something thrown in your face. Oh my god, I'm jumped out of my seat. At this point, the jump scares are so predictable, I know when it's gonna happen, and I know when to close my ear because, yes, loud noises make me fucking jump. Sue me. So basically, the two plots meet when Claire and Leon try to escape Racoon City when they realize that Racoon City is about to be destroyed, and then STARS team are still in the mansion trying to get out even when they realize that Racoon City is about to be destroyed, and then they run into William Birkin. By the way, this is also a shitty translation of a character, William Birkin. Whereas in the original games, he is just dead set on making and perfecting the G virus, and that's all he cares about. And there's like, yeah, he's part of an evil organization, but he doesn't portray as evil. Whereas this movie, God, if his face doesn't scream evil, I don't know what to tell you. That whole thing of this, like, Claire and Chris knew him when they were in the orphanage because he had control of the orphanage, and it's like implied that he used the orphanage to experiment on people. And it's, again, not in the fucking games. Yeah, the orphanage is there, but there's no thing where it's like Birkin was using kids in the orphanage to experiment on. Yeah, fucking Birkin is portrayed as your stereotypical mad scientist type person that is basically trying to get the G virus. And when he realizes that Racoon City is about to go up and under, he has to go back and grab his stuff because it's his life's work, blah, 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 blah. Then it's like, we have this moment where him and Claire meet for like a second on the street, and then they're left, and we don't see William Birkin for like the rest of the film until like the third act. Like, it's a big ass fucking gap between when we first meet Birkin and when he's just basically missing up until the third plot. And then he turns into his mutation like we all see in the games. And honestly, when it first started out, it's just his arm and the eyes. It actually looks good. But then we get to his final mutation, where it's the worst fucking CGI I've ever seen in a fucking movie. Let's get to the fucking CGI, because the CGI has its moments. The dog was, the one zombie dog was, The liquor was fine, but I feel like they've done the liquor so fucking much, they can't really fuck it up at this point. And then William's final mutation, which looks nothing like he does in the game. They just did their own thing. And it's just, it's like in and out, in and out, in and out of the CGI. It's definitely budget, I will say that much. Another fucking subplot that they managed to fuck up was Lisa Trevor. I'm not gonna lie, them having Lisa Trevor kind of threw me off for a moment, because it's like, one, I'm happy that there's someone in the movie industry that takes their time to look at the source material and see stuff like that. I was happy about that. But then I realized they're gonna fuck it up some way, and they did. Lisa Trevor, for those that don't know about Resident Evil, was basically a tragic character they added in the remake for the first game, where basically she was experimented on and just wanders the entire mansion in the game, and like you read all this lore. She's a very tragic character. Where in this movie, she's basically used as a MacGuffin for Claire, because she knows her through the orphanage, because Lisa Trevor is somehow in the orphanage. They managed to fuck that up. And then, for some reason, Claire befriends Lisa Trevor. And what's weird about this, like, this whole friendship thing is, like, even though that Lisa Trevor is a tragic character, she's very dangerous in the game. She will fucking kill you. Whereas, apparently in this movie, as long as you're nice to her, she'll become your fucking friend. Even though they had on file of Lisa Trevor in the movie that she is fucking dangerous. But no, just become her friend. She'll be fine as long as you're her friend. And then, when the reason I say that she's the MacGuffin character is like she basically gives her the keys to find the train to escape. And by the way, it's the fucking keys. Like the spade key, the diamond key, all that. She gives her the keys that are like the puzzles in the game. But she just uses the one key, and I guess we'll never know what the other keys are for. But yeah, we basically go to the train. We have one final conversation with Birkin. We have the end thing that basically says that Racoon City is wiped out from the face of the earth. They don't have any civilians. But wait! We have survivors! And they're going to take on Umbrella in the next movie. Except the second movie's not gonna fucking happen, because this movie fucking sucks! Oh boy, do you know how confident they are that there's gonna be a sequel to this movie? We have a mid-credit scene! Yeah, this movie thinks it's like fucking Marvel, and does a mid-credit scene where we reveal that basically after Wesker tries to kill Birkin, and he ends up dying because of it from Jill, like in the games, Wesker turns into a superhuman. And this is a really big kicker, because throughout the entire movie, when I complained mostly about Wesker, is he doesn't look like himself, because, yeah, he doesn't have the sunglasses. Yeah, it's kind of stupid he has the sunglasses in the game. But it looked cool. Make up this thing where the reason he has the sunglasses is because his mutation, his eyes can't adjust that well to light or any sort of thing. So yeah, he's given the sunglasses to use, and who gives him the glasses? It's Ada Wong! Oh my god! She's missing throughout this entire movie! Oh, I see what you did there. You saved her for the end credit scene because you think you're gonna have a sequel and she'll be in it. Well, guess what? There's not gonna be a fucking sequel! But yeah, that happened, and I was just so ready to leave. Like, even before the mid-credit scene was about to happen, I was just so content to just leave the theater at that point because I was so pissed off. But then the fucking mid-credits scene comes on, and I'm like, oh my god, y'all really think a sequel is going to happen? But for all I know, they probably might come up with a sequel. For as shitty as this movie is, we'll see. I don't know. I doubt it. This movie is just offensive. This movie is fucking offensive to Resident Evil fans. Hell, it's even offensive to people that never fucking played the games. Because this is gonna be their representation of what Resident Evil is supposed to be. It is not! This is not Resident Evil! Oh my god. How fucking hard is it to make a decent Resident Evil movie? Like, seriously, I don't fucking get it. Sonic can get a decent movie. Mortal Kombat can get a decent movie. Why can't Resident Evil get a movie? For real. I feel like as long as Sony, Constantine Films, and Screen Gems own the film rights to this movie, we are never going to get a fucking decent Resident Evil film. Honestly, I feel like that was the reason why they made this movie, so they can retain the film rights. Because if you think about it, there was hardly any promotion for this movie except for the one trailer. There was no fucking red carpet premiere for this movie, no interviews from the actors except one interview from the director, and that's it. We barely got anything for this movie. And you know why? Because they don't care about this movie. They just made it so they can retain the film rights, much like they do with the Fantastic Four movies with Fox. Just sad. Like, if you're just making a movie just to retain film rights, then you have no right to own these film rights. Seriously. And Capcom says yes to this shit. Capcom is the owner of this IP. And they go to this film company, they look at what they fucking make, and they said, yeah, that looks good. Cut, print. Seriously, Capcom, I don't know what you're fucking thinking with the people that make this movie. I don't know why you think this is good, but guess what? It's not. You need to take the fucking film rights away from Sony. You need to take the film rights away from Constantine Films. You need to take the film rights away from fucking Screen Gems because they do not deserve this franchise and you deserve way better of a movie than what you get. Honestly, I'd rather watch the fucking shitty Milla Jovovich movies. At least they tried to give us some fucking Resident Evil love. Seriously, I don't know what it is. I feel like with the Milla Jovovich movies, it's like we get too much action and less Resident Evil survival horror feel, but at least we get decent representation of characters, even though they're just tacked on. With this movie, it's a fucking trade-off. We get the horror, we get the survival horror aspect, but we get traded off with shitty representation of the characters and the lore of Resident Evil. Seriously, it's like a fucking shitty yin-yang effect. Seriously, I already know a lot of people that review this movie says do not go see this movie, and I'm just like shooting a dead horse at this point, but seriously, don't go see this film. If you are a hardcore Resident Evil fanatic, if you are a die-hard fan, please do not waste your money with this movie. It's just so sad how much of a butchering they did with this franchise. Just a disservice to Resident Evil fans alike, and it's so fucking disrespectful. So it's like with all that I said, like, what do I rate this movie? You know what I rate this movie? It's a 1 out of 5. Why not give it a 0 out of 5? Why give it a 1 out of 5? Because honestly, the horror aspects are not that bad at points. At least it's not trying to be an over-the-top action fest like the Milla Jovovich movies were trying to do, and sacrificing the survival horror aspect of it. So yeah, 1 out of 5. This movie is a disrespectful piece of garbage. Don't fucking go and see it. Unless you really like cheap, fucking, half-assed horror movies. That's my rant review. Don't go see this movie. It's a piece of shit. I'm Dreamkiller. Nerds keep on rocking. Fuck this movie!